Hello everyone. Today I'd like to discuss property. I've entitled this group of videos as My Journey into Property Starts Here. This isn't about Ken Rayner's journey. This is about your journey into what property actually is. We're going to have a discussion about property today. The purpose of the discussion is not to make you into some sort of philosophers of what property is, but it's about helping you with your practice, in your valuation practice. As valuers, we're determining what the value of property is. So in order to be able to do that, really we need to understand what it is that we're going to be valuing. So we can value, a house, and you can say to me, oh, well, we're going to value a house, just going to put a number on it as a process worker, and that'll be it. Why do we need to go into a lot of the underlying fundamentals? But we're not just about valuing houses for first mortgage purposes, we're also about valuing more esoteric property. If I value a block of air over a road, which is to be used for a proposed overhead walkway between two buildings which cross a road, what is it I'm actually valuing? Am I valuing the air? Am I valuing a theoretical block of space above a public facility? What is it exactly that I'm valuing? As valuers, we need to understand exactly what it is we're talking about. And exactly is an interesting term. What is property? If I ask some of you that question, you may well reply along the lines of, it's a thing or object which can be owned. So, what is ownership? According to my copy of the Australian Concise Oxford Dictionary from 1992, to own something is belonging to oneself or itself, not for another's. It can include individual, peculiar, particular. Whilst the dictionary definition relating to ownership is rather generalistic, it does highlight two important concepts relating to property. The first concept is that ownership is often regarded as being an individual construct. Often our initial thoughts regarding ownership, therefore, is a separation of mine from thine. That brings us to the second concept, specifically the ideal of exclusion. My property is my property, and I have exclusive use of that property for whatever purposes I wish. The idea behind this belief in ownership is that scarce resources can be allocated to individuals exclusively for their personal use and for no one else's. Many of you will be viewing this video on your computers. As a general rule, many of you may regard your computers as being personal property. That is, your computer is owned by you as an individual and is for your exclusive use. This forms the basis of our concept of private property, although it does not fully describe many people's definition of such property, as it ignores other aspects such as ability to sell your computer, for example. However, focusing just on these two components of private property, namely individual ownership and exclusivity, this means that your computer is yours exclusively, and that if someone else should wish to use it, they have no right to use it, and therefore must negotiate its use with you as the owner. This raises our next important concept, which is that ownership is a right. You own the computer because there is a legal right to do so. But what about the basis of this right? Is this right something which is natural to the human condition? or is it conventional, being subject to convention as a man-made construct? This question has dogged philosophers for thousands of years, with a wide range of solutions having been determined. Our concept of property and ownership are unique to our Western capitalist society, and particularly in the Australian context, being based upon earlier English societal norms. How does our discussion about your attitude to owning a computer relate to real estate? What are your thoughts about owning real estate? Does your thoughts of ownership of real estate differ from ownership of other matters? What is ownership? How does ownership work? What can you own? What can't you own? Why can you own it and why can't you own other things? Can you own a slave, a human being? If not, why not? In ancient times, slave ownership was commonplace. What has changed in our modern society? If you sell property, the property itself remains unaffected. So what does change? Do you consider that owning real estate is a good thing or a bad thing? And why do you think that? This is a question with no right or wrong answer. It does not matter if you think that owning real estate is a good thing or that owning real estate is a bad thing. It's just about challenging your social norms rather than just accepting your culture's belief without question. As mature adults, it is your right to think and consider matters based on your perception of facts. Therefore, if you feel that owning real estate by private individuals is a good thing, then think about why you arrive at that conclusion. Conversely, if you think that owning real estate by private individuals is a bad thing, then similarly consider why you have arrived at that conclusion. But wait, there's more, and I'm not going to throw a set of steak knives into the deal. Think about the advantages of private people such as yourself owning real estate, and then think about the disadvantages that you face in that real estate ownership. Not only can you think of such advantages and disadvantages as value assessments, but they can also lead you to consider what real estate is and how your society views it. These questions and answers are for you and you alone to consider and not to be revealed to others unless you choose to. Having now thought through the questions that I have laid out for you, you are in a better position to actually think what real estate is.